You are famous on this show for predicting Steven Kwan to hit 400
I
at one
switched it.
point 2 seasons ago. I know you've changed since, but in the month of July, after a very slow start to the season, Steven Kwan,
That's
in a
putting
small
it lightly.
sample size, has started to turn it around. Ty, he's not hitting 400, but he is hitting 345 in July, 29 at bats, 10 hits. He has a 974 OPS. You can see the numbers on your screen. Ty, are you buying a big second half for Steven Kwan? A turnaround from a disappointing first half. Won't fulfill 400, but will he at least get to, I don't know, 220?
I think where is he at? Currently?
225.
Oh, I think that this is what I'll say about Steven Kwan. We all know that he has imposter syndrome, right? So I think the whole change to center field has really taken a toll on him. And he's been so busy trying to perfect being a center fieldman that it's affected him at the plate. I think now that he's been there for half a season, I think he's more comfortable there, and I think he'll start to getting back to being better at the plate. I'm not saying that he's going to hit 20 home runs, and I'm not saying he's batting 400, but I think he will have a strong end to his season. I mean, he has to be if he wants a big contract.
I was going to ask both of you all.
Yeah.
Y'all are baseball experts, but in the month of July, I think he's batted primarily in the number 9 hole.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's helped build his confidence.
He's not going back to 1. He's staying.
He's staying there.
I would imagine so.
Well,
I mean, maybe next year.
I wouldn't.
But
Travis Bazan's the leadoff hitter for this team.
If he stays at 9, I'm confident that he can kind of steady the ship for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
I think if you look at his 4 or 5 years, fully in the big leagues with the Guardians, I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt that he can sustain where he's at now and turn it around. I mean, you know this better than me. I think the All-Star break kind of sucks because he's starting to heat up. He's starting to figure things up. And a guy like that, the last thing he needs is kind of like to not be playing baseball for a week.
Yeah, it is unfortunate timing for him specifically. I agree with that. And listen, it's too small a sample size. Mike mentioned, 29 at-bats or whatever?
29 at-bats, yeah, like tiny sample size.
So, but I've expected him all year to turn it around. Yeah. So I'm gonna be optimistic that this is the start of something good. Doesn't mean he's going to have a great game every day the rest of the season, but I would expect his second half for him to be at least a good hitter. And Tyvis, to your point, he's not getting a big – I don't care what he does the rest of the season. There is no big contract coming for Steven Kwan. He should have signed an extension when the Guardians offered it to him. He made a mistake. He was never getting a big contract. I don't know where this was coming from. Singles hitters don't get big contracts. There aren't many of them. Luis Ariz couldn't even get a job this past year, and Luis Ariz is better than Kwan. He's not better defensively, but he's a better hitter than Kwan is.
Is he a free agent after this season?
Kwan? No.
Yeah. Oh, how many years he got left?
I think
he's got 1 year left.
1 more year, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well,
Mike, can you double check that?
He better take what he can get out. Why is it that does he want to play for Seattle or does he got ties to Seattle? Because like every time they brought up trade, like Seattle was always the top spot for him. Why was that? Because of Etro? Is that why?
I don't think so.
I don't. Seattle doesn't look like a fit to me. Seattle. I don't think it was Seattle. It was like
it was the Dodgers. That's always been linked to Kwan. He played baseball at Oregon State, so he's got West Coast ties.
I don't know that he's not going. It's just he'll become the Guardians. I don't even think would sign him now, even if he wanted to sign, unless it was way under market value.
I mean, he's got a year left. They can, go to arbitration with him next year and sign him for 1 more year and see what next year holds.
Right, he won't get. I mean,
if he has another year like this, they'll just non-tender him.
If he stinks the rest of the year, they could non-tender him at the end of the year.
But I don't think it'll come to that. Like
probably,
and you've brought up Cody Bellinger and some other names, and you're right, it exists. I don't think a guy his age, I think it's incredibly rare for a guy to forget how to hit when you're at the prime of your career.
Unless there's an injury.
Yeah, so I am going to buy that this is legitimate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is important next couple of weeks for him. If he continues to stay hot the next couple of weeks and looks like he's the player that we all know him to be, I think that's a huge bonus going to the trade deadline as you try to figure out what you need, what you want, what you're targeting, what you're prioritizing. So, yeah, I think the next couple of weeks coming out of the break are pretty important for him, but it's encouraging for sure. It's in there. Like, guys that are, 26, 27?
Yeah, but he's been a good hitter.
You don't forget how to hit.
No, yeah.
He's
I
almost
definitely
20.
think.
Real quick, he's almost 29. Worth mentioning.
Okay,
Almost
so
29.
he's a
So
little
he's
older.
right at the prime of his career.
But still, yeah. To your point, Tyvis, and I think it's a good point. Like, I don't know specifically if it was the center field thing that screwed him up,
I think it was the contract more than
but there was definitely some sort of mental thing he was dealing with. He had lost confidence. So whether it's contract, whether it's center field, whatever it is, confidence was lost. It's clear. It was clear by so many of his at-bats, especially once we got into the season and he was doing so poorly. You could see him like swing, like he lost his. He's always before this year had a great sense of the strike zone, a great feel for it.
Yeah.
He didn't swing at bad pitches. He swung at pitches in the zone, and there was so many at bats in May and June where he was chasing pitches and watching good pitches go by, and we never saw that before this year. And even when he wasn't like any player is going to be hot and cold. But even in the past, when he would be cold, it wouldn't be because he was swinging at crazy pitches. He was just whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, I and hopefully he has found some way through this mental hurdle. Whether you're right, it's because they moved him to center field. Not only have they moved him to center field, but it's been inconsistent.
Right.
You know, it's not like he's playing center field every day. He's played center, he's played left. So it's not like he's been able to just settle in at center field, which might have been better for him.
Bull, do
Yeah,
you
I
share?
mean,
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, because I got another topic about something else, but I know we close. Go
no,
ahead.
just to piggyback off of what Bull said, I remember at the beginning of the month, I was watching the Guardians play, and the announcer talked about that he had swung at the least amount of hittable pitches that had came in the strike zone of any player
Right, which is
in
shocking.
the major leagues. And then you can see like it was certain situations to where situational baseball will arise, and his confidence was so shot that he would just elect to bunt the ball.
Right.
You know, he
Too often,
didn't he didn't believe in himself to be able to get it done. I'm not sure like what's clicked mentally, what's relaxed him, or what's going on, but I think he himself getting himself back in a better mental situation, plus Stephen Vogt putting him at the bottom of that lineup. I think the combination of the two has helped him turn things around. It'd just be interesting to see if he can keep this up once we resume play against the Pirates, I believe.
And him, if he can get back to being close to what he was, that's a valuable weapon in the back of the lineup.
100%.
You know, a guy who can steal bases, a guy who can get on base, move through the lineup, get you
Yeah.
quicker to the top of the lineup. And, I mean, what a difference the lineup could be in the second half of the season with Manzardo, who's mostly played very well since May, and Kwan, if this is real and they can get Jose back in the next week or two, we could be looking at a different lineup. What else did you want to hit on there, Tyvis?
Well, one, to piggyback off of that, Angel Martinez is coming back. He is
he's
what
been
I
back
thought
too. He's been good.
was going to be. So let's just we good. Do you share the same sentiments as Jason when it comes to Junior Caminero about the trade for Tobias Myers?
It was a terrible trade, but what do you mean? What sentiments?
He said that you funny for that. He said that he was 18 at the time and they scratched the lottery ticket.
Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't even a top prospect.
I don't remember him being a top prospect.
He wasn't.
Like when the Guardians made that trade, I wasn't like, "Oh my God, how did they do that?" It's a terrible trade. Nobody can debate that. They made a huge mistake there. Huge. Overall, in most of the trades the Guardians have made with this regime, they've done a good job. Like you give them a thumbs up way more often than a thumbs down.
Here's how I would answer that. Can you name another one
that was that bad?
that was really bad, that they really got fleeced?
Was Myers even a good pitcher? That's what I needed.
No,
he had one
awful.
Decent year for Milwaukee last year.
Yeah, he's not good.
What did they? I can't remember the Yandy Diaz trade.
Oh yeah, they got Jake Bowers.
And Jake Bowers, by the way, is he on the All-Star team? I don't even know.
I don't think so.
If he
he's
didn't
having
make
a great
it,
year.
he should have, or
he's
he's
having
close.
a great year. It's unbelievable.
He's having an All-Star caliber season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been
18 homers and 59 ribbies.
It's unbelievable.
and he steals
That's wild.
bases. He's having a great season.
Awful when he was here.
He was so bad here. I know a lot of players didn't like him.
Yeah.
He was a pain in the neck.
Does hearing those names make you want to give Arias another chance, Jason?
No.
No. What was it, Mike? Can you look up the Yandy Diaz trade when the Guardians trade Yandy? Because Yandy Diaz is, obviously not a Hall of Famer, but he's been a very good player.
But we knew there was something there with Yandy. Everybody knew
that was a mistake. I never liked that trade. I thought they made a mistake. They never really gave him a great opportunity.
I agree.
It was Yandy for Jake Bowers.
Yeah, and then they didn't stick with Bowers.
Cole Sulser.
Cole Sulser is still
bouncing around.
Yeah.
With the Rays again. Like, stop trading with the Rays.
Yeah.
But we knew Yandy could hit.
That was a bad trade. And then what did they just cut Bowers, didn't they?
I think they eventually DFA'd him or non-tendered him or something.
He stunk here.
And he bounced around for a while before.
He was with the Yankees. He was with the Rays, the Brewers.
Because he started putting up numbers. I'm like, I didn't know Jake Bowers was still in baseball.
The last two, I think, at least last year or maybe the year before, he's been solid, like as a part-time player with the Brewers.
He was immature when he was here. I remember Tito, like on the record, saying if he goes 3 for 3, he won't go to the cage. If he goes 0 for 3, he spends 2 hours in the cage.
He grew up.
Like, you got to have.
I thought he had potential when he was here, but it was a disaster.
Well, of course he had potential. He was the top.
I think the moral of the story is the Guardians shouldn't trade with the Rays.
Basically,
besides the Rays, they made good trades.
They did get Manzardo for Savali though.
That was a great trade. That was a great
trade. But everybody points to the Caminero one because it's like the only one. Like, it's bad. It's really bad. But it's not like they have a ton of trades where they've missed like.
I mean, Yandy for Bowers
that was bad.
Was bad too.
Yeah, it was.
Especially because with Caminero, at least, like, the guy was young. He wasn't a top prospect. These things happen.
Right.
Yandy, you knew there was something there.
Yes.
Like, he's even better than maybe I thought he'd be, but you knew he was going to be a major leaguer.
He got to power. It was all about launch angle with him.
Right.
He always hit on the ground line drives.
I think part of the reason they didn't like him is because he didn't have he wasn't good defensively. He DHs.
All y'all doing is describing Big Christmas. They can make up for all their bad
Lord.
by bringing Big
Christmas. In somebody's minor league system.
I don't know.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
He's at Dillard's.
Nah, he's in somebody's minor league system.
Selling shoes.
Nelson Velasquez. Didn't we have him for 2 seconds too? Or am I confusing him with somebody else? I don't know. All right, let's take a break. What are we talking about with Tyvis next there, Mike?
How to best utilize 3 safeties and 1 defense.
Oh,